us here to talk about canning equipment. There's two kinds of canning. There's hot water bath canning and pressure cooker canning. Use hot water bath canning for high acid foods like tomatoes and peaches and most kinds of fruits. Hot water bath canning and pressure cooking require jars, lids, and rings. First thing we have to do is wash. Make sure that jars and lids and rings are all clean. Wash them. Dishwashers are really handy for this. We don't have one. What we do is wash them and then put them in the hot water bath canner to keep them warm. This little pot's a hot water bath canner. It's a small one, and this you can see this ring of wire helps hold the cans, jars in place while water is boiling, keeps them from crashing into each other and breaking. You put the jars, check each one for cracks, and mix if they're old jars. Put the jars in the canner. It'll hold 7. You need 7 rings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7 lids. I don't know if you can see this, but these lids have a depression in them. Apparently, coming up in the heat to this high altitude, they close themselves. Never use a lid that already has a dent in it. This wax is what seals the jar and makes it so that your food won't spoil. So take some new rings, new lids, put them in the rings. Everything in the water. We'll boil it until we're ready to use it. The water gets in the jars. That's to keep them from floating while they're baking. Want to make sure you have enough water to cover everything so that everything is sterile when you're all done. Except the stubborn one in the middle. We got it. Okay. On the stove it goes. First step in canning peaches is to make what they call a light sugar syrup. That will be 1 quart of water and 2 cups of sugar. Doesn't sound too awfully light, but remember these peaches will take up most of your time. We're going to make 2 batches, just in case we get that many peaches. What we don't use, we will save. 2 cups of white sugar. Yes, I know, it's unhealthy. No, we need 4 cups because we put in 8 cups of milk. We're using a little less sugar for the altitude. Put it on the stove and let it cook until the sugar dissolves. We're going to prepare the peaches. Peaches need to be washed and clean get the dip ready. Acid as peaches are, they are not acid enough to keep from turning brown if you store them in a jar for several months. So we need about, I'm going to make about a quart. You use about a teaspoon of fruit fresh per cup of water, so that means we need 4 teaspoons of fruit fresh. 4. Stir that up until you can't see the fruit fresh anymore. Now we see the water with the sugar in it, the syrup. The sugar is all dissolved. I'm going to push that a little further back on the stove and turn it down, let it simmer. This pot of water, you can see, is also boiling. It's just about ready. The water's boiling a little bit. We'll move the peaches over so they're handy. You want to use peaches that are nice and ripe and firm. This one got frozen in the back of the freezer. In the back of the fridge, it probably is not going to work. This one's got a big bruise on it. It's also probably not going to work. The next thing we do, and this is kind of fun, it's especially a lot of fun if you've got kids, and you can all do it together, is we're going to slip the skins off the peaches by cooking them for just a little bit. Dumping as many as we can. You can use a cheesecloth bag or a wire bag, a wire container, but I've never actually had one. You wait for about a minute. The peaches have been in for about a minute. I take them out, put them in cold water. And if we've done it right, the skin will slip right off. This one's not right. It's right, but it's not right. My daughter and I have peeled several batches of peaches. Clean up the mess for the chickens or the compost pile or whatever have you. Move the cold water aside and the hot water. Making sure to turn the burner off first. Move the boiling hot syrup to where you can reach it. Have a nice flat countertop. Put something that will keep the heat from transferring. And then you want to bring the jars over to where you can work with them. They are full of water and very hot.